Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and Brittany and I recorded a full workout for you guys again. Today was just a typical workout for me, nothing special, but the difference was today is one of the first days where I came in and I feel like I finally adapted to the new amount of cardio I'm doing, because I had been doing like an hour 5 times a week and I had adapted to that and strength was holding good. And then I upped my cardio dramatically to facilitate faster fat loss, and starting about 5 weeks ago, actually about the 3rd of last month, I upped it to averaging about 3 hours a day of list cardio. And of course the scale started dropping very, very rapidly doing that, particularly with a relatively clean diet. I mean, you're just not going to not lose body weight on 3 hours of cardio a day. Let's just be realistic. Pretty much anybody is going to start losing fat on that. I don't care who you are. But I started adapting today, and I'll get to that in a minute because there's a couple of things to talk about with Brittany here. Her deadlift, we've been working on her technique again because her technique has gotten really, really sloppy. And people have even noted that in the videos, and I'm aware of that as, you know, her boyfriend and coach and everything. I'm aware that her deadlift technique has gotten sloppy. So we spent some time working on it, particularly in those boots, because it's a deficit for her, right? So we've been working on it on the days she's not on camera, and we got it down to where her technique was a lot better. She was a lot tighter. The biggest issue she had is that she was starting with her hips too low. When she uses that pre-motor unit slack technique, her hips get too low, and then she would squat the weight up and your ass comes up first, and you do not do that to break it off the floor. Well, she got it down perfect on Sunday with about 5 sets with a lighter weight, and we had it good. And today she was really busy on the phone, work stuff, a lot of hectic projects that were money related were kind of distracting her, and her technique started breaking down, and I had to stop to her and talk to her about it. Like you guys will notice on this set right here, when you're not focusing on the deadlift, all right, her first rep was okay, and then she starts going faster, and look at that. See, her ass just came up way over hyperextended. Ass came up first at the bottom. She did it again, even worse on the 3rd rep. And I had to talk to her, when you're on the deadlift, you need to have complete concentration. Whatever phone call you just had, you have to block that out. Don't talk on your phone. Don't text to people between sets of deadlifts. You cannot think about anything but the deadlift between sets of deadlifts unless you want to get hurt. It's a good way to get yourself in the hospital. And take your time between reps. You know what? I don't think a person should ever take less than 1 second between reps on a heavy deadlift, ever, for any reason. There's no excuse for it. You need to reset it on the floor at least a full second. Think about things, reset your stance if you have to, do whatever you have to do. And she did a little better with that, and I made her focus a little more on this set. But again, she had a similar problem because I think she sped it up on this one. Let's watch it and see. But I finally made her on her 3rd work set step back and reassess. But here she's taking her time. Take your time on the setup, get in your zone. And this is not particularly heavy for her. She's pulled 185 for 5 before, so 155 isn't particularly heavy. Right there though, a little sloppy. So, but she's realizing that because I told her the cues she needs to watch for. So she resets again, does a little better here. But yeah, we're going to have to work on this for her, because for her, concentrating on your deadlift is a bit of a problem. That was a lot better. And then she takes her time, resets again on the 3rd rep. And you know, here's the thing with deadlifts, even if you're doing 5 rep sets, 6 rep sets, I would rather see a person take their time and completely turn loose of the bar and reset up and act like they're doing a single than take a shorter time between sets. If you had to pick between the two of taking a ½ second between reps versus taking 3 or 4 seconds and resetting up your grip and everything, I would rather see that. Now for me today, you know what? I'm adapting to the cardio, and I think my extra little accessory work is starting to pay off. But the main thing is I'm recovering finally to this large amounts of cardio. It's one of the things I tell you guys, when you add in a lot of list cardio, sometimes your recovery nosedives, and then once you adapt to it, everything recovers. Yesterday, I did 3 hours of cardio before I even did breakfast, and then I carved up, came in today. This was all ridiculously easy. My push presses, these 5 rep sets, honestly, I should have added 10 pounds. I'm just going to be honest. That was way too light. It felt light. It felt easy. There were no grinders. I was honestly, when I did that 3rd set, and I had said today I wasn't going to do a back off set because I wanted to focus a little more on my pulling today. So I didn't do a 4th back off set today, because I also did floor presses on Sunday. So, you know, when I'm getting pressing, like that extra pressing in between workouts, I don't feel that I need to do a back off set. It'll be fine. So I didn't do one today. But honestly, I probably should have gone heavier on the push press. At this rate that I'm going, I might need to start adding weight. Because I get over to my deadlift. After that, after only doing 3 sets of push presses, this 405 felt like 200 pounds. All right, this warm-up, 405, honestly, it felt like I was lifting 250. It didn't feel like even 400 pounds. So I just grabbed it, pull it, and it just comes up easy. Like nothing. I'm like, really? That doesn't feel like 400 pounds. So I noticed it when I went to my 5-plate set in a minute. I got to 5 reps, and I just quit. I left 2 in the tank. Honestly, they felt like I was doing 400 pounds. You know, my 495 today, it felt like 400 pounds. I'm finally adapting to all the extra cardio. And that's the interesting thing. List cardio, once you adapt to the volume of it, no matter how much volume of it you do, you eventually reach a point where it starts enhancing recovery. And in my case, it has been a little hard this last month to lift heavy. I've noticed my lifts, my final sets, my heaviest sets, they just feel so heavy. But it took me 5 weeks to adapt to it. And now, these same work sets, they feel lighter. It's like I've been doing, what, 4 rep sets on camera with 495. I come in today and 5 reps, honestly, I could have done 2 more, which I do here in a minute. It just wasn't difficult. You know, the first rep felt slightly heavy, but the second rep, third rep, fourth rep, I'm just like, these really don't feel like anything. Not a big deal. Of course, Brittany's still doing her lat pull downs there. But yeah, so I'm pleasantly surprised, you know, because I've been losing body fat, and a lot of people are noting I definitely look leaner. People are saying I look bigger, but, you know, to be bigger, guys, the scale shouldn't be going down. The scale's going down. I promise you I'm not getting bigger. I'm not getting bigger, guys. I'm not blasting a bunch of trend and growth hormone or anything crazy. I'm actually at TRT right now. I'm not on any sort of super physiological doses of anything. So I can promise you I'm not getting bigger. I promise you I'm not getting bigger. I'm actually losing weight. My waist is going down. The cardio is really starting to pay off, because right here, that 5th rep on the deadlift, I decided I'm just going to hold it at the top instead of doing a couple extra reps. I get up, walked around. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't even hard. Easy mode. Again, the beauty of adapting to your cardio. Once you are adapted to your whatever volume of cardio you're doing, I'm kind of hitting that high point in it to where my body's saying, you know what, I'm totally cool with all this cardio. It's just another part of the daily routine. Now my strength is going back up in the gym. The weights feel lighter. They feel easier. I don't really even feel like I've worked out now. You know, and that's the thing I've noticed 2 weeks ago. I was getting sore after my workouts. I was getting sore. And a lot of it was adapting to that absurd amount of cardio. I'm doing 3 hours of cardio most days. Some days I only do 2. But that's usually my heavy lifting days. You know, yeah, if I deadlift, sometimes I only want to do 2 hours of cardio after. But, you know, it was just easy. Same thing, I came over to the pen lay rows. 225 is light on a pen lay row, but it felt light. So I went ahead and did sets of 6 instead of 5 because, you know, it was just easy. I felt like I needed the extra rep. So I pretty much from last Friday's workouts, same weight, I did an extra rep on the deadlifts. I did an extra rep on all the sets of the pen lay rows. And the push presses felt lighter. The push presses felt like I should have put 10 more pounds on the bar for those same reps. And realistically, I should have. If it feels like that again next time, I probably need to increase them next week. Don't have to increase it just because it feels light, particularly when cutting. But I'm at a point now to where if my overhead press strength starts increasing while I'm cutting, you know what? I would be absolutely ecstatic. I would be absolutely ecstatic. In fact, if my overhead press increases while the scale is going down and I'm cutting, I'm going to have to ask Brittany if she's been slipping me oral gear or something in my coffee or something in the morning, because it really shouldn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Normally when you lose weight, pressing strength is the first thing to go. But I guess because I'm using list cardio to do it and I'm hammering down as many carbs as I can get away with, which is a viable athletic strategy. Eat more carbs, do more cardio. My performance is just doing fantastically well. And I wonder if also it has to do with me, 1, adapting to the cardio, 2, adding extra accessory work, and 3, what did I do yesterday? I pretty much did the equivalent of carb backloading yesterday. I did 3 hours of cardio before I ate my breakfast yesterday. And I created an absolutely enormous calorie deficit because my hours of cardio, according to my bike, are burning about 500 to 600 calories per hour. So that's 1,500 to 1,800 calories I just straight up burned while still fasted in the morning. And then I carb loaded like crazy all evening, and I ate almost no fat. We did have fajitas late last night, but I pretty much potatoes and chicken breast, crock-pot chicken breast, bunch of potatoes, stuff like that. And then we had fajitas last night. Maybe the carb backloading combination with it might be helping on my workout days. I could speculate on that, but I was just pleasantly surprised today. You know, everything just felt light. And there's Brittany. Again, notice she's starting to get a lot more muscle tone again. She's getting pretty well defined again. It's all coming along nice for her now that she's getting in the gym at least 3 days a week now, getting all her basic lifts in. And even though her deadlift technique needs some work, it's going back up. She'll be repping 185 again within another month. I have no doubt about it. She's got to hone her technique in. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.